A prediction has been placed for Auburn to land a transfer portal quarterback, and it's okay to not be fired up about it.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day, or maybe in this case, your second listen, as this is our bonus episode, our happy hour edition of the show. I want to talk about the prediction that some of On3's national guys made for Auburn to land a transfer portal quarterback, and of course, what that could mean for the Auburn Tigers, and addressing some of the, I don't want to call it a meltdown, but the Auburn fan base had some different feelings about this, and you can feel however you want, but I'm going to tell you how I feel, and I'm going to try to walk some of you guys off the ledge just a little bit. So earlier today on Monday, which of course is the day that the portal officially opens, On3 put out a prediction of Ashton Daniels, the former Stanford quarterback who was in the portal, ending up at Auburn. Now, if you tuned into our show this morning, we said, hey, if Hank Brown enters the portal, which he has, that Ashton Daniels would be a name to watch. In fact, if you remember over at the bar in Auburn, Auburn's newest message board, this was discussed a few days ago. If Hank Brown leaves, expect Ashton Daniels to come in and be a guy who competes for the backup spot to whoever Auburn does bring in via the transfer portal. We said this consistently. If Auburn was going into the portal with just two quarterbacks, Walker White and Deuce Knight, which is wild that Walker White is the veteran of the room right now as a redshirt freshman, you can't go into the season with just three quarterbacks. And I want to touch on that more in just a moment, because that seems to be the most positive or the most common reaction to this morning's show. And so I want to tackle that in a moment. But Ashton Daniels is being brought in to compete with Walker White to be the second quarterback in this depth chart. To me, I think this is fine. Now, look, if you look at Ashton Daniels, I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he's fine. I think he's experienced. I think he throws way too many interceptions. In 2024, he had 271 pass attempts, decent completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 12 picks. Like that's not what you want, especially when you look at where the offense struggled for Auburn last year, especially early on with taking care of the football. You don't need this guy running the offense, but he does make the quarterback room better. Let's zoom out and talk about what we needed, refer back to what we talked about when whatever Auburn needed with a backup quarterback via the portal. It doesn't make sense to get a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore via the portal, because what kind of message would that send to Walker or Deuce? Ashton Daniels has 1 year left of eligibility. There's so many Auburn folks that I saw when this On3 prediction was dropped. I think it was Nakos that dropped it. It's like, well, why does Auburn need a backup? They've got Walker and Deuce coming in. What does this say to them? I promise you, Walker White and Deuce Knight are not worried about Ashton Daniels with his 1 year left of eligibility. If this was a guy who is a sophomore or something, I think you'd have a little bit different of a leg to stand on, but Ashton has 1 year left of eligibility. It's what multiple reports have said. I'm buying it. The timing, this isn't an actual issue here. So I don't think that's the negative here. And also, you're not bringing Ashton Daniels in to play. You're bringing Ashton Daniels in to be a mentor to these young quarterbacks that we all believe in, and a break glass in case of emergency. Oh, and also the big thing that so many of the naysayers say when you talk about adding a quarterback through the portal, the number one thing is, oh, well, why don't you just develop the young guys you have? Well, okay. Yeah, let's bring in a guy who can help mentor them, and also a guy who can compete with them and create competition for that backup quarterback spot. I think this checks off the whole let's take steps in the right direction of developing some of these younger players. So if Auburn were to add Ashton Daniels, I do think it checks off a lot of the boxes of something that you would want in this role. Because once again, Auburn can't be picky when it comes to getting a veteran quarterback in the portal where the sales pitch is, hey, come to the SEC, but you're going to be a backup because we're going to bring somebody else in that's better than you. You can't be picky in that situation unless you want to go get a future guy who's a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore. But Auburn has that. So like the age of this matters. The amount of years left in eligibility matters. And so you can't be picky in this situation. I think for this role, I think Ashton Daniels is going to be fine. If I had to pick who plays more this season, Ashton Daniels or Walker White, I will say Walker White in a backup role, or if whoever Auburn brings in via the portal to start. But yeah, I'm not sold on Ashton Daniels as a player. I am sold on bringing in Ashton Daniels. I do think he makes the roster better. And there's another thing that I think folks are overblowing just a little bit when we talk about the transfer portal quarterback situation for the Tigers. And let's jump into that in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. We all know it. The everydayers know it. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, you can bet on the Auburn basketball team to win the national championship at plus 750 odds. Guys, that means FanDuel really likes the Auburn Tigers. You also can bet on them to win the SEC regular season at just plus 185 odds and to reach the Final Four plus 150. That's strong. Those are strong odds, and you can check them all out at FanDuel.com today. Also, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win, all over at FanDuel.com. You can get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. All of that is over at FanDuel.com. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at Omaha Steaks. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. It's guaranteed perfection in every single bite. And right now, you can save on unforgettable gifts with 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, score an extra $30 off with promo code COLLEGE. Short and sweet, just one word, college. From legendary steaks to mouthwatering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide for a limited time at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code college. That's promo code college at omahasteaks.com. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen or your second listen every single day. Another thing that I'm seeing is, why doesn't Auburn just go into the season with 3 quarterbacks? I'm seeing that all over the place. You've got Walker, you've got Deuce, get your starter in the transfer portal, and then go to town. I said this on Village Vice not too long ago. Like, this isn't Madden, and this isn't the new college football game where you can just rotate guys in. You have to run a program. And there's 2 elements to that. One is you need to build classes. And we've talked about this a ton this past offseason, how Auburn doesn't have really a junior class. That was last year. Now they don't have a bunch of these older guys at some of these positions that have been homegrown. They've had to go out and address it via the portal. So you're looking at a quarterback room that has a true freshman in Deuce Knight and a redshirt freshman in Walker White. You need some older guys in the room. And I think you need multiple older guys in the room. And so if they do add Ashton Daniels from Stanford, who has 1 year left of eligibility, does Auburn go out and get another older guy that also has 1 year left of eligibility, or 2? I'd be fine with either of those options just to make the timing make sense. And then you have a true battle between Walker and Deuce next cycle. I think everybody's okay with that unless you can really go for a home run and you get a guy with multiple years left of eligibility. And if he doesn't go to the NFL, that'd be interesting. That'd be a really interesting conversation. But to me, I don't think if you're this coaching staff, you can really risk that. So to me, get 2 older guys, let Ashton be the backup, or if Walker's better, which he might be, he really might be. Great. And then it also simulates an actual competition for Walker and Deuce versus a guy that we think is going to be this big name addition via the portal. How much of that is really going to be a competition? And like, does Walker get as much of this development if it's not a true competition? I don't know how exactly I feel about that, but I have seen that argument, and I don't think I disagree with it. The other thing is, like, you need more than 3 quarterbacks to run a practice. Like that's part of this, is you need more than 3 quarterbacks to run a practice. This isn't a video game. This is something where these guys, you actually have to have physical bodies to run practice. And sure, you can use walk-ons, but why? Like, why would you do that when every other conference or every other team in the conference has 4 or more quarterbacks on their roster? Like, why would Auburn short themselves? That doesn't make any sense at all. So those are my thoughts on the Ashton Daniels prediction. I said this morning that he was a name to watch. I still stand by that. Does he make Auburn on the field better? I don't know. Does he make the room better? Probably. He definitely makes the team better because I think this is a guy that you want around your program. I think we said similar things. What was his name? Grant Loy? Was that his name? Didn't he transfer from Ohio and he had 1 year left of eligibility? I think it's something similar to that. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. He transferred from Bowling Green. Spent 4 years at Bowling Green. Yeah, then he transferred. He transferred to Auburn. It was okay, whatever. Back up. Help run practice. Probably good in meetings. Whatever. Ashton Daniels, I think it would be the same thing. Don't think he makes you worse. He's not Auburn's starter next year. If he is, you have every right to panic. But I don't think he will be. Hey, please like the video. Please subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on all of this. Are we okay with Ashton Daniels? Do you still think Auburn should just bring in one quarterback? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Check me out on socials at Zac Blackerby. That's Twitter. That's TikTok. That's Instagram. Also, please like the video. Please subscribe. And we'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.